The central bank will henceforth discontinue the sale of foreign exchange to bureau exchange operators. The bank would no longer process or issue new licenses for BDC operations in the country. This stoppage extends to all licenses being currently processed regardless of the stage of that processing.
If you want to make a statement that will shake a nation, wear a tie. This was a statement that took the financial sector by storm. It was indeed unexpected as the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, wielded a big hammer, stopping forex sales to bureau de change BDC operators. For the Apex Bank, this move became necessary due to the alarming unethical practice by BDC operators.
Like I read in my remarks, we have become very disappointed, concerned about the activities of our bureau de change operators in Nigeria. We are unhappy about it because they have turned themselves, rather than being supportive in line with the objective, which is for them to sell dollars to people who immediately need to travel, about $5,000 or less. They have turned themselves into agents that facilitate graft and corruption in Nigeria, and we believe that this cannot be tolerated. The CBN has also been awash with complaints about the modus operandi of operators, and it's becoming so disgraceful that we feel that at this stage we need to take a decision.
This was not the first time the Apex Bank stopped selling forex to BDC operators in Nigeria. In January 2016, CBN stopped selling to BDCs for similar acts, an action which consequently wielded on both domestic and international trade flow.
Yes, in the short term, we are bound to see the exchange rates rising in the parallel markets, black market, and it's already happening. And that's because a major source of funding in the black market has been cut off. So that now tells you that much of the funds that go into the parallel market come from the Central Bank of Nigeria, which shouldn't ordinarily be so. So now that that has been cut off, you should expect that the rate will go up. We saw this in 2016. This is not the first time it's happening. In January 2016, the Central Bank stopped sale of forex to BDC. And the black market rate at that time shot up. By December of 2016, if you recall, black market rate had gone up from 248 Naira to the dollar to about 495 Naira to the dollar. And by January of 2017, it was as high as 520. But what happened later? By June of 2017, that rate crashed. It crashed, especially after the central bank introduced the I&E window. So I'm also optimistic that any increase in the parallel market rate today will also crash. And those who are speculating on what has happened may end up having themselves disappointed.
Based on this, Money and the Economy reached out to some operators in Abuja for their reactions, but they declined. Witness stated the use of an undercover device.
Normally now it's a CBN, they no give the blockchain $10 unless you go the bank outside. If you get Saga to you deposit your money into your bank, they give you $1. But only $4,000.
Only 4,000?
Only $4,000 in the month.
In the month?
In the month, only $4,000. So that is why, for instance, there are people that in demand of $1,000 of $100,000 to a bank, only $4,000 is to give. So you have to make it the dealers.
You'd agree with me that it's coming out of the place of no other option. Our central bank has intervened in the parallel market with over 5.2 billion just within a year. Besides, the number of registered BDC has been surged to more than 300% of what it was less than 10 years ago. Now, if they are intervening in the market and we are not seeing performance, the responsibility is on authority to review some of the activities. And I think that is why the Apex Bank has came up with this current policy. So my reaction is that it becomes very necessary that such decision is taken in order to save the soul of Naira.
In a circular released by the central bank to pending BDC operators, the financial regulator says all deposit money banks should stop accepting instructions from customers to transfer capital deposits of 35 million Naira to designated CBN accounts for the purpose of BDC licenses. The Apex Bank also directed deposit money banks to set up points to serve customers' needs. They also directed them to ensure that no customer is turned back or refused FX provided that documentation and all other requirements are satisfied. According to a report by This Day newspaper, the Apex Bank has already allocated $200 million to all commercial banks in the country as part of efforts to meet forex demand for legitimate users, following the decision by the regulators to discontinue FX sales to BDC operators. Despite negative predictions in some quarters, market watchers say transactions at the investors and exporters window have been stable days after the CBN pronouncement. Ayo Adedotun Babatunde, Money and the Economy.